Thursday morning here at the nation's capital. My name is Aritifa and I'm here with the news update at dawn. Members of the National Assembly on Wednesday said the decision of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission to review downward the salaries and allowances of members of the National Assembly was well applauded, as a pay cut would be a relief to lawmakers in many respects, including restoring the dignity of the legislature in the country. It's noted that it was nauseating to hear Nigerians call their legislators looters and thieves on account of salaries and allowances worked out for them by an agency of government empowered by law to do so. Chairman of Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, Mr. Elias Mbam, had on Tuesday revealed that a new pay package reflecting quotes and salaries of public service officers would be released in September. Mbam precisely mentioned the National Assembly as an arm of the public service that would be affected in the planned pay cuts. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency yesterday visited the Lagos residence of Chika Egu Densi, a crew member of Arik Air Flight W3101, who was arrested with kilograms of cocaine at the London Heathrow Airport. The NDLEA moved to the house after interrogating pilots and flight attendants of the flight that left the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos for London on Monday night. However, findings reveal that the NDLEA and other aviation security officials are seriously grilling an Arik staff member working with the catering department, who is believed to have aided the suspects, as staff members of the catering department conveying food from the airline's office to the aircraft are not usually screened. Officials believe the bags containing the cocaine may have been taken through the spot. Nigeria's main basketball team, the Tigers, defeated Mozambique 83-47 to pick a spot in the quarterfinals of the 2015 African Nations Championship holding in Tunisia. The match saw the Tigers winning all the quarters as the battle for a place at the Rio de Janeiro Olympics continues. The Tigers are now billed to play Gabon in the quarterfinals today. In the match against Mozambique, Al-Farouk Aminu led scoring on the Nigerian side, hitting 14 points. Matos of Mozambique also shot 14 points. Lawal grabbed 12 rebounds for Nigeria as the best board player of the night in the combined roster, while Ume had 4 assists. Managing Director of Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) Danabia and other top officials yesterday in a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari denied that 183.7 billion naira was missing. He also faulted claim of any contract splitting. The Auditor General of the Federation, Samuel Ukura, had last week alleged that 183.7 billion naira meant for the development of the Niger Delta was diverted by the officials, insisting on the accuracy of his special audit report, accusing management of the NDDC of diversion. Already, the NDDC's Executive Director for Finance and Administration, Dr. Henry Ogiri, had last week faulted the allegation, saying while the auditor's report covered 2008 to 2012, the present board was inaugurated in December 2013. Ogiri had also accused the Auditor General of playing to the gallery in view of Buhari's anti-corruption stance, stating that the report negated ethical accounting standards. The NDDC boss said contrary to reports that he and his team were summoned by the president, he had requested to meet with the president to update him on the commission's activities and challenges. One of the suspected killers of Captain Ibrahim and 6 soldiers of the Nigerian Army in Bakura Forest, Zamfara State, was yesterday arrested while boarding a plane to Saudi Arabia for this year's Hajj at the Sultan Abubakar International Airport, Sokoto. Sani Aliru was said to have been trailed from Zamfara to Sokoto by Army intelligence officers before he was picked up. Security officials at the airport said Aliru had been on the wanted list of the Army over his involvement in the killing of 7 soldiers in the forest last year, alleging that the suspect had been identified as the one who shot and killed Captain Ibrahim while a gang of cattle rustlers were engaged in a fierce battle at the forest. Aliru, a native of Dutsen Kura village in Safe local government area of Zamfara State, has been handed over to 1 brigade of the Nigerian Army, Sokoto, for further investigation. Central Bank of Nigeria has said out of the 27 states that need money to settle arrears of workers' salaries, only 2 have met requirements for the payment of the bailout fund approved by the federal government. Of the 27 states involved, funds have been paid to Zamfara and Kwara states, two states that have met requirements as agreed with their respective banks. A statement from CBN yesterday said it has approved the request by deposit money banks to provide financial lodging to state governments to enable them pay the accumulation of salaries of their workers. Conditions for accessing the loan facility include resolution of the State Executive Council authorizing the borrowing and the State House of Assembly consenting to the loan package, as well as an issuance of irrevocable standing payment order to ensure timely repayment. According to the Italian Coast Guard, rescues have saved about 3,000 immigrants and found more than 50 dead on boats near the coast of Libya. At least 55 bodies were recovered on Wednesday on 3 overcrowded boats in the Mediterranean Sea. Of them, 51 were found in the hull of a wooden boat drifting uncertainly off the Libyan coast by the Poseidon, a Swedish ship mobilized under the European Union's rescue mission, Triton. Tens of thousands of people, mainly from Africa and the Middle East, have embarked on the dangerous route this year in the hope of reaching Europe, often dangerously parked into small vessels that were never intended to cross the Mediterranean. The boat on which rescuers on the Poseidon found the 51 corpses was carrying 439 survivors. 3 women were found dead on a rubber boat carrying a further 120 people. 1 person rescued along with more than 100 others in another boat died shortly after. South Sudan's President Salva Kiir has signed a peace deal with rebels after a threat of sanctions from the UN. He told those gathered for the signing ceremony in the capital, Juba, that he had reservations about how the mediation was conducted and some of the clauses of the compromise deal. Rebel leader Riek Machar signed the deal last week, but Kiir refused. It is meant to end months of brutal civil war and will see Machar return as vice president. Fighting between forces loyal to the two men over the last 20 months has forced more than 2.2 million people from their homes in the world's youngest state, which broke away from Sudan in 2011. In a statement, the U.S. National Security Advisor, Susan Rice, said that reaching a lasting peace would require commitment and resolve from all parties to the conflict. At least 7 ceasefires have been agreed and then shattered, sometimes within hours. Fighting broke out in December 2013 after President Kiir accused his sacked deputy, Machar, of plotting a coup. Machar denied the charges but mobilized a rebel force to fight the government. Earlier in a Security Council briefing, the UN's humanitarian chief, Stephen O'Brien, warned that conditions in South Sudan were worsening and the scope and level of cruelty that has characterized the attack against civilians suggests a depth of anti-party that goes beyond political differences. A US-drafted resolution would have imposed an arms embargo and targeted sanctions unless Mr. Kiir signed. More than 1,000 Colombians who were living in Venezuela have crossed into Colombia as the border fight between the two neighbors intensifies. Last week, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro ordered the closure of a border post near the city of Cúcuta. He also announced that Colombians living illegally in Venezuela would be deported. The move followed an incident last Wednesday when smugglers injured 3 Venezuelan soldiers and a civilian. The expulsions are part of a crackdown on smuggling gangs. Generous government subsidies on staple foods and extremely cheap petrol in Venezuela means smugglers can make handsome profits by buying goods there and selling them in Colombia. The Venezuelan government estimates that 40% of subsidized goods are lost to smugglers, adding that scarcity of staples such as corn flour, milk, and basic cosmetic items in large part due to this illegal trade. President Maduro also declared a state of emergency in 5 border provinces, which allows the authorities to search homes and businesses without a warrant. Main suspects in the 1996 bombing of the Khobar Towers in Saudi Arabia is reported to have been captured. Ahmed al-Mughassi was arrested in the Lebanese capital, Beirut, and then relocated to Riyadh. Mughassi has been indicted by a U.S. court for the attack, which killed 19 U.S. military personnel and a Saudi citizen. For more news, you can follow at African Free Press on Twitter, like African Free Press on Facebook, and you can visit our website www.africanfreepress.com. My name is Arit Efana. Good morning.